Before we begin, the city lost a friend and former Alderman Sean McGinnis over the weekend. He was a consummate gentleman in his chambers, and he will be missed, and I would ask for a moment of silence in his memory. Thank you. Prayer will be offered by City Clerk Patricia Pietzu. Alderman Karen will lead us in the pledge to the flag.
Almighty God, we have the high honor and serious duty to manage the affairs of our beloved city. Fill us, O God, with a spirit of unity and understanding, which enables us to face our multiple problems with a serene mind, with justice and charity for all, so that any and all decisions made by us will always be for the betterment and greater happiness of all our fellow citizens. So help us, God. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Wilshire. Here. Alderman Gidge.
Here.
Alderman Harriet Gathright. Alderman Dowd.
Present.
Alderman Clee. Alderman Laws.
Here.
Alderman Lopez.
Here.
Alderman Karen.
Here.
Alderwoman Kelly. Alderman Jetty.
Here.
Alderwoman Milizi Gola.
Present.
Alderman Tenza.
Present.
Alderman Schmidt.
Here.
Alderman O'Brien.
Present.
Alderman McCarthy.
Present.
We have 13 members present.
Alderwoman Harriet Gathright is dealing with family issues, and Alderwoman Kelly contacted me to say she would be unable to attend this evening. Also present are Mayor James Donchis and Corporation Counsel Stephen A. Bolton. Does the mayor wish to address the board?
Yes, Mr. President. First, Mr. President, I wanted to join you in wishing the best to the family of Sean McGinnis, who we all know served on the Board of Aldermen for a few terms. He was always gentlemanly. He was thoughtful. He never had a bad word to say about anyone, and it was a pleasure to serve with him. I think we were able to keep him in public service right up to the end, in the sense that after he left the Board of Aldermen, I appointed him, and you quickly confirmed him for the Planning Board, and I know that he was happy to be able to fulfill that service right up to the end of his life. So I again wish his family the best, and we've lost a really good man. On the agenda tonight, I wanted to offer a little explanation about R-18-021. It is a resolution to transfer funds to Harbor Homes for the purposes of the Safe Stations program. This matches a contribution we made to them about a year ago. One of the aspects of the Safe Stations program is that they have drivers available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to pick up any person who reports to a firehouse within about 10 to 11 minutes of the report. And the purpose of this very speedy pickup is we don't want to take a fire company out of service while waiting for a pickup. And what we did last year was help pay for the cost of the pickup service, because they do not currently have any grant or anything like that for this. It costs them significantly more than I'm proposing, which is $50,000, again matching last year, to provide the transportation. You will hear about the details in the committee. Peter Kelleher will come in to talk about the details, but I wanted to at least alert you to that is on the agenda and why. As we look toward the paving program this year, I've been learning recently that the quality of the asphalt, and this becomes very technical, is very important to the long-term durability of the work. It has to do with the amount of liquid in the asphalt, that is the oilish product that actually gives us the black color, and not too much so-called dust. So we may adopt additional procedures that are quality control procedures that are used and advocated by DOT, state DOT, which has to do with having an inspector at the plant when the asphalt is mixed, because it seems that that is the only way you can be sure that you're getting even quality, matching the specs at all times. It will add a little extra money, but in terms of spending many, many millions of dollars, it's to pave this year 30 miles of streets. We want to make sure that we're getting the best quality and that 3 years from now we aren't encountering problems with potholes and other issues having to do with the fact that the quality of the asphalt was not right. So I just wanted to mention that BPW the Department of Public Works is looking into that very carefully, and we want to make sure that the quality controls are the maximum. No other municipality, or very few, take the quality control to that step, but I think we really need to do that to ensure we spend our money wisely. Finally, there's some voter, constituent, citizen outreach efforts. We have the Jajabel's Coffee with the Mayor tomorrow morning. If any of you'd like to get up early, probably earlier than many of you get up, I don't know, 8 o'clock. And you can come by. I know Tom Lopez, Alderman Tom Lopez is going to be there. And if you'd like to come, that would be great. On Thursday night, we have the Ward 4 Town Hall meeting at Amherst Street School. We intend to talk a little bit about the tannery site as well as other issues in the city. And then next week, there are a couple more town hall meetings, one in Ward 7 and one in Ward 6, as well as beer with the mayor on, I think, Tuesday night, which, again, you'd be very welcome to come to that. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
Responses to remarks of the mayor, Alderman Lopez.
I just wanted to point out and thank the mayor for attending his first Greater Nashua Continuum of Care meeting. Previously, he had a scheduling conflict at the Jajabel's Coffee with the Mayor, and everyone was very pleased and honored to see him there.
Alderwoman Melissa.
Yes, Mayor John, just regarding hiring an inspector to monitor the quality of the asphalt, is that a result of the quality of the asphalt that was put down last summer?
The Department of Public Works was not entirely happy with the quality of some of the work, and it seems if you look for, and you can tell some of the difference, like the work that was done out. If you look at the pavement like a year out, if you look at the pavement that was done out by Whole Foods, you will see that it's still very shiny, really in good shape, and is still a very black color. Some of the paving that has been done in recent years elsewhere, tends to gray up more quickly, which suggests that I believe I'm accurately describing this. The dust content is a little too high, and maybe the liquid or the tar content is too low. So that is part of the reason, but also we just want to make sure that the specs which we have are complied with, and 100%, because again, it's an inexpensive proposition, and we want to make sure that we get the highest quality.
May I follow up? And I certainly appreciate that. I would assume there are a few companies in the region that mix asphalt. So are we going with the same company for the asphalt?
Well, we are subject to bidding laws, so we are going to, particularly with respect to the arterial streets, the side streets went out, and the bids were due today, and I haven't heard the result yet. But within that bid document, the department has the right to do any inspections they care to, so they have the right to make the inspection under the bids that were submitted today. And then that is going to be continued with respect to putting out the bid for the arterial streets in the federally funded package. So we will, our right to do that is within the bid package, and we intend to follow up on it.
Okay. Just a comment. I think it's unfortunate that the specs that we put forth and that were bid on were not followed. And as a result, the city is going to be paying additional funds to monitor something that a company should be monitoring. So, but I also appreciate us doing what's necessary because every morning I drive through the areas where pavement has, newly laid pavement is no longer there on Main Street in front of Enterprise. So I appreciate us trying to make sure the companies we deal with follow the standards we have asked for. Thank you.
Alderman Dowd?
Just one thing, I noticed there are many of the signs up that say the road work is gonna be starting soon. I assume that's the paving,
Yes,
and
but we can't do it till the asphalt, it's warm enough to produce asphalt, and that
Right.
weather hasn't quite broken yet.
just so people can plan to avoid places, are we going to announce when certain streets are gonna start? And I know we don't wanna release the whole list, but,
I think Public Works can do that, yes.
Recognition period?
There is none.
Reading the minutes of previous meeting. If there are no objections, the minutes of the Board of Aldermen meeting of March 27th, 2008 will be accepted, placed on file, and the readings will be suspended. Communications requiring only procedural actions and written reports from liaisons.
Communication from Larry D. Goodhue, CEO, CFO, Pennachuck Corporation, relative to the annual meeting of sole shareholder.
If there are no objections, the communication will be accepted, placed on file, and referred to the Pennachuck Water Special Committee.
Communication from Larry D. Goodhue, CEO, CFO, Pennachuck Corporation, relative to the Pittsfield Aqueduct Company, Inc. Request for approval to refinance intercompany debt with Pennachuck Corporation.
If there are no objections, the communication will be accepted, placed on file, and referred to the Pennachuck Water Special Committee. Period for public comment on items expected to be acted upon this evening. No one has signed up. Communications requiring final approval.
There are none.
Petitions.
There are none.
Nominations, appointments, and elections.
There are none.
Reports of committees. If there are no objections, the reports of the Budget Review Committee meetings of March 26th, April 2nd, and April 5th, 2018 will be accepted and placed on file. If there are no objections, the report of the Finance Committee of April 4th, 2018 will be accepted and placed on file. And if there are no objections, the report of the March 28th Committee on Infrastructure will be accepted and placed on file. Confirmation of the mayor's appointments.
There are none.
Unfinished business resolutions.
Second reading of Resolution 18-011, authorizing the conveyance of a discontinued portion of West Glenwood Street.
Alderwoman Karen.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion for final passage of R-18-011, and I'd like to speak on that.
Motion is for final passage of R 18011. Alderwoman Karen.
Yes, thank you. The Colon family who owns the house at the end of the street came to see us back last summer to ask about the discontinued street, which had been taken care of back in the late 60s, early 70s. So with the help of legal and public works, they were able to do the surveying and get that squared away. And this is the final result. And they will have to pay some fees, legal fees, which is filing fees, which is about $45. So he's waited almost a year for this, so we'd like to move that forward. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries and R 18011 is adopted.
Second reading of Resolution 18-017, approving the cost items of a collective bargaining agreement between the City of Nashua, New Hampshire and UAW Local 2322 Clerical and Technical Unit from July 1, 2017 through June 30, 2020, and related transfers.
Alderwoman Wilshire.
Thank you. I move for final passage of Resolution 18017.
Motion is for final passage of R 18017. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries and R 18017 is adopted.
Second reading of Resolution 18-018, approving the cost items of a collective bargaining agreement between the City of Nashua, New Hampshire and UAW Local 2322 Professional Unit from July 1, 2017 through June 30, 2020, and related transfers.
Alderwoman Clee.
I move for final passage of R 18-018.
Motion is for final passage of R 18-018. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries and R 18-018 is adopted. Unfinished business ordinances.
Second reading of ordinance 18-005, adding additional fire station signal locations.
Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for final passage of 018-005.
Motion is for final passage of ordinance 018-005. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries and ordinance 018-005 is adopted.
Second reading of ordinance 18-009, prohibiting parking on a portion of the south side of Prospect Street.
Alderman Dowd.
I'd like to make a motion for final passage of 018-009.
Motion is for final passage of 018-009. Is there any discussion of that motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries and 018-009 is adopted. New business resolutions.
First reading of Resolution 18-021, relative to the transfer of $50,000 from Department 194 Contingency, account number 70100, General Contingency, to Department 109, Civic and Community Activities, accounting classification 56, outside agencies, for the purpose of providing funded to Harvard Homes for their role in the Safe Stations program.
Additional sponsors, Alderwoman Wilshire, Alderwoman Clee, Alderman Laws, Alderwoman Karen, Alderwoman Lizzie Golia, Alderman Tenza, Alderwoman Schmidt, Alderman O'Brien, and Alderman Dowd. And R 18-021 will be assigned to the Budget Review Committee.
First reading of Resolution 18-022, authorizing the mayor and city treasurer to issue bonds not to exceed the amount of $2,500,000 for the fiscal year 2018 sewer infrastructure program.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to accept the first reading of R 18-022 by roll call, refer it to the Budget Review Committee and the Board of Public Works, and that a public hearing be scheduled for Monday, April 30th, 2018, at 7 p.m. in the Aldermanic Chamber.
Before I call for the vote, are there any additional sponsors for the legislation? Alderman Dowd, Alderwoman Clee, Alderman Lopez, Alderwoman Karen, Alderwoman Lizzie Golia, Alderwoman Schmidt, and Alderman O'Brien. And would the clerk please call a roll?
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
Alderman Gidge.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Laws.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Karen. Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderwoman Lizzie Gola.
Yes.
Alderman Tenza.
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt.
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman McCarthy.
Yes,
We have 13 yeas.
motion carries.
First reading of Resolution 18-023, changing the purpose of up to $514,000 of unexpended bond proceeds from various wastewater projects to the fiscal year 2018 sewer infrastructure program.
Additional sponsors, Alderwoman Lizzie Golia, Alderman O'Brien, Alderwoman Karen, Alderman Lopez, Alderman Dowd. And R 18-023 will be assigned to the Budget Review Committee and the Board of Public Works.
First reading of Resolution 18-024, creating a special revenue fund for the 201 Main Street building.
Additional sponsors, Alderwoman Wilshire, Alderman Dowd, Alderwoman Clee, Alderman Laws, Alderman Lopez, Alderwoman Lizzie Golia, Alderman Tenza, Alderwoman Schmidt, Alderman O'Brien, and myself. And R 18-024 will be assigned to the Budget Review Committee, and a public hearing will be scheduled for Monday, April 23rd, 2018, at 7 p.m. in the Aldermanic Chamber.
First reading of Resolution 18-025, authorizing Pennachuck Corporation and Pittsfield Aqueduct Company to refinance intercompany debt.
Additional sponsors, Alderman Dowd, Alderwoman Clee, Alderman Laws, and myself. And R 18025 will be assigned to the Pennachuck Water Special Committee.
First reading of Resolution 18-026 relative to the transfer of up to $100,000 from Department Number 191, School Department, account number 81100, Capital Improvements, into School Grant Activity, School Infrastructure Grant Funds.
Additional sponsors, Alderwoman Wilshire, Alderman Dowd, Alderwoman Clee, Alderman Laws, Alderwoman Lizzie-Golia, Alderwoman Schmidt, Alderman O'Brien. And R 18026 will be assigned to the Budget Review Committee. New business ordinances,
First reading of Ordinance 18-011, updating the financial standards for the city's welfare guidelines.
additional sponsors, Alderwoman Wilshire, Alderwoman Karen, Alderwoman Lizzie-Golia, Alderman O'Brien, and Alderwoman Clee. And 01811 will be assigned to the Personnel and Administrative Affairs Committee. Period for general public comment. No one has signed up. Remarks by members of the Board of Aldermen. Alderwoman Schmidt.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's National Library Week, and I'd like to take the opportunity to remind Nashawans that their library is no longer just about borrowing books. It's also about downloading ebooks and audiobooks, borrowing a laptop to use in the building, to check out a telescope or a ukulele, to book a room for your next meeting, take a computer class, and much more. And it's all free. All you need is a library card. Thank you, Mr. President.
Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. President. I know it was expressed earlier, but I would like to publicly say that my condolences go out to the McGinnis family. I had the pleasure to serve with Sean on this board. I did find him to be one of the true gentlemen of the board with his decorum, and to be surely missed. Thank you, Mr. President.
Alderman Dowd.
I also would like to send out my condolences to the McGinnis family for the loss. While we didn't always see eye to eye on some of the motions here in this chamber, he was always a consummate gentleman and a fantastic person, and he'll be missed.
Alderwoman Wilshire.
I would like to send my condolences to the McGinnis family. Sean was a good guy.
Alderwoman Karen.
I too would like to send my condolences. Our first term together, he sat next to me and he had a dry sense of humor, but he was the consummate gentleman in this circle, so he's going to be greatly missed. But on another point, to kind of, the Breakfast Exchange Club is holding their annual Potato Fest next Thursday from 4:30 to 7 at the Senior Center. This is a baked potato with all the condiments, homemade chili. They have a raffle. They do a lot of work with the elderly throughout the community, welfare programs, and it's a great evening. Alderman Lopez is at the door before they open. Tickets are $6 in advance, and they are $8 at the door, and I only brought 10 tickets, and for those aldermen who bought them from me tonight, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. I know I'll be there, but I have to leave early because we have a town hall meeting at 7 o'clock that night. Thank you, Mayor.
Alderman Lopez.
I'm very looking forward to the Baked Potato Festival myself. It's also my nephew's birthday, so Kyle, I'll make it, I swear. I just have to have the potato first. This Thursday is our Ward 4 Town Hall with the mayor at Amherst Street School at 7, and we're looking forward to an update on the tannery project. So I encourage anybody in Ward 4 who's interested in living in that area particularly to attend. It's at Amherst Street School at 7. And then additionally, on April 21st, we have a whole bunch of community service projects that are happening downtown, including the Downtown Parks Cleanup organized by Great American Downtown. And there's a poverty simulation dinner taking place at 4:30 at Arbor, run by Be the Change. And I just wanted to comment on it because some poverty simulations are, I'm sleeping in a box, so I know what it's like to be homeless. That's not what this is. This is something that really is meant to be an exercise that's personal to you and look at the different constructions that you take for granted, maybe just because they were how you were raised or you were offered opportunity, and what it looks like for people in other situations and in other parts of the world even that have to operate under different rules and different conditions. Because in a way, a lot of times the solutions and the leadership is going to come from recognizing the differences between the situations that people have. So poverty simulation dinner, April 21st at the Arbor Restaurant at 4:30. And then I also wanted to express my condolences to the family of Sean McGinnis. I found him to be a particularly humorous and tolerant alderman. He's very welcome and opening to anybody new, and he was very helpful to me, feeling a little bit more comfortable on the board when I first began. So my condolences to his family.
Alderman Gidge.
Sean was also a state representative. He was up in the Commerce Committee with me. And if you want to go archive our public access television station, I did an hour with him, and we talked about everything. Life, how he felt, and Sean was a real gentleman and very, very, very smart person, and knew his numbers in the Commerce Committee. So, of course, we feel bad for his family.
Alderwoman Lizzie Golia.
Yes. First, just a reminder that the Sculpture Symposium is going to be opening on May 10th, and tickets are now available for that opening event, which will be out at the airport. And the sculptors will be at Make It Labs until June 2nd, when there will be a closing event. I commented last night around Sean's passing, but I would like to join the members of the chamber in condolences to his family. I had the pleasure of sitting next to him his last term on this board, and as others have said, he was certainly a gentleman, and he very courageously handled his illness. And so condolences to his family. Thank you.
Any other remarks? Committee announcements? Alderman Dowd.
Yes, tomorrow evening and the evening after, we'll be having budget committee meetings. I believe tomorrow is the City Hall, Mayor and Board of Aldermen, and City Clerk, all the important groups. So. And legal, I forgot legal. And emergency preparedness.
Alderwoman Lizzie Golia.
Important.
Chamber will be planning an economic development at 7 p.m. Thank you.
Alderman Wells.
Friday morning at 7:45 a.m., Downtown Improvements Committee in room 208.
Alderwoman Wilshire.
Minnetonka Soul shareholder meeting will be held on Saturday, May 5th at 9 a.m. at the Crown Plaza.
Any further announcements? Is there a motion? Alderwoman Wilshire.
Move to adjourn.
Motion is to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we are adjourned at 7:58.